Hello, hello, beautiful badass, and welcome to episode number 33 of the Magic is in You podcast, the podcast designed to empower you to tune and tap in and turn on the magic that already exists within inside of you so that you can create and live a life that lights you fuck up from the inside out. My name is Kelsey Holmes. I am the women's empowerment coach behind The Magic is in You. And I am so grateful you are here today. Thank you so much for being here. If this is your very first time, welcome. I'm so grateful you are here tuning in today. And if this is your 33rd episode, thank you from the bottom of my heart. It means so much to me that you have chosen to take this time to intentionally align with yourself, with your energy, and grow yourself and know yourself and truly love yourself because that's what this life is all about, right? It's about the connection that we have within ourselves. The other day, when I was at a networking event, I was sharing about my podcast and shared the name of my podcast with a woman who I've known for a little while now. And she asked me, "Oh, that's such a fun name. What was the inspiration behind the name?" And I told her there was a couple of different things that fully inspired the name, but the real root of the name, the magic is in you, is truly just what that means and just what that phrase truly means, right? Is the magic that we seek to create, experience, live in our life in this world is already within inside of us, each and every single one of us. It's already there. It's a matter of us allowing ourselves to tune in, tap in, turn on the magic that is already there. So oftentimes, I don't know if you've experienced this, but I know for myself, I've experienced this a number of times in my life where I have shut my magic down, where I have allowed myself to not believe in myself, allowed myself to not trust myself, acted in ways that broke that trust, that broke that self belief. And it's taken me some time, some practice, some intentionality to rebuild the trust within myself, to rebuild the relationship within myself. Because just like any other relationship, the relationship with ourselves is just that it is a relationship. And just like any other relationship, the way we interact in this relationship within ourselves matters. It's so fucking important. The way we think, the way we allow ourselves to act towards ourselves, the way we speak about ourselves, just like in a relationship with another person. So when I first started understanding that I actually had a relationship with myself. At first, I thought it was really fucking weird. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? When I first heard this concept that we have a relationship within ourselves. And then the more I pondered it, the more I learned about it, the more I leaned into the fact that I was in a relationship within myself, the more I understood it. And the more I realized that the relationship I had with myself was fucking shitty. I was constantly breaking promises to myself. I was constantly berating and belittling myself with the thoughts in my head, which at that point I didn't even realize or recognize that I had any sort of control over the thoughts in my head or the questions that I asked myself. And it was just this not a good, healthy relationship. And so, as I understood this concept of being in relationship with myself, and as I started to learn about thought work and subconscious reprogramming and different embodiment techniques, I started to slowly begin to shift. I started to slowly begin to become a little bit more intentional with the relationship I had with myself. And it really started with becoming aware specifically of the thoughts I was thinking in my head, because let me tell you, it was a fucking nasty place to be in my head. I don't know if you can relate or if you've ever had times in your life where your own worst enemy was already in your head. Well, just as the light and the dark of day and night contrast each other, we have that within ourselves. So even though that was like the nastiest place I could be was in my head. In that, I also had the same capacity for the opposite of being able to actually tap into the magic that already exists within inside of me, right? With everything, there is an equal and opposite. Isn't that like There's science behind that, I'm sure. But there is an opposite, right? It's like a magnet. You have two, like the negative and positive. It's like the even down to the molecular cells, right? You have the negative ions and the positive ions that make up everything in this universe. There is like an equal and opposite to everything. So when I understood and learned that I had actually control of the thoughts in my head, that I could intentionally choose better thoughts, more empowering thoughts, more helpful thoughts, more loving, peaceful thoughts rather than just kicking my own ass all day, every day, I slowly began to start to try and shift it. And at first, it just began with awareness, where all self growth really starts, right? Is the awareness of where we're at, meeting ourselves where we're at in that day, in that moment. And from there, it transformed into awareness, into intentionally being able to choose yes or no, whether I found those thoughts empowering or whether I found those thoughts helpful at all, or whether I found the questions that I was asking myself empowering, helpful, or loving. And from there, it slowly began to shift. And this is like the neuroplasticity in our mind, right? Like in our brain, excuse me. This is the actual like neurons beginning to create new neural pathways in our brains, new thought patterns or pathways in our brains, and allowing the old ones to kind of get overgrown. My favorite way to like describe neuroplasticity and the connections in our brain is like a trail. So, for example, I'm very grateful to live on this beautiful property here in Northwest Montana that I'm so grateful to call home. And we have a big open field and it grows up with beautiful grass each summer. And this big field with the grass in it, if I walk through the grass one time, you can kind of see that I've walked through the grass, but not really. But if I intentionally choose to walk through the grass in the same path, the same way every single day, before long, all of a sudden the grass starts to split a little bit. It starts to open up. It starts to look a little more path like. And then if I continue to walk this path every single day in the same way, in the same direction, all of a sudden it becomes like a well-worn, well-traveled path through the grass. It's this parting of the grass as the dirt path actually opens up and is a bit more significant, substantial. Every day I travel on this path through the grass on my property, it becomes more and more trail-like until all of a sudden the grass is growing off to the sides of the path, not even in the middle of the path anymore because it's so well tread, it's so well walked, right? And so this is how the new pathways in our brain really work. It's like we think the thought once about ourselves, a new, empowering, loving, trusting thought within ourselves. If we think it once, it's kind of like the grass is just barely parted. If we think it again, there is maybe a little bit more of a path. If we think it over and over and over and over intentionally every single day, before long, it's a well worn path within our mind. It's a well connected neural pathway in our mind. Literally, you can like look it up on YouTube, neuroplasticity and neural pathways, and you can see the cool connection, like the with the different microscopes and that kind of thing. Microscopes? I don't know exactly what they're doing looking at those. Maybe it's an MRI. Anyway, you get the point. You can begin to create this well connected pathway in your mind. And in the same wave of this, as we're creating new and empowering pathways within our mind, new empowering thought patterns, new empowering questions that we're asking ourselves, we can also have these other pathways, maybe the less empowering pathways. For example, some of the old pathways I don't need to share all of them, but some of the old pathways that were very disempowering to me were very well worn. I mean, they were like fucking super highways. But as I was developing these new neural pathways and these new trails within my mind, these new empowering thought patterns within myself, within my being, within my body, I gave less and less and less attention to the old disempowering pathways. And if you think about it, once again, back to the trail analogy, if you think about this with a trail, if you have a really well established trail out in the mountains or out in a field or out in nature, if you have a really well established trail, if you don't walk it regularly, or if nobody walks it regularly, within a short amount of time, nature is so beautiful, but within a short amount of time, nature actually overgrows that pathway. All of a sudden, the grass starts to grow into the pathway. The different trees and bushes and plants start to grow within the pathway. The different wildflowers start to grow within the pathway. And before very long, all of a sudden, that pathway that was so well maintained and so well worn is completely overgrown in nature because nature took over and allowed itself to regrow there, right? To plant new seeds there of wildflowers and bushes and trees and grasses. And that is what happens in our mind. The less we travel these paths in our mind, the negative, berating, belittling, disempowering self thoughts that we, or self talk that we have, self thoughts that we have, negative questions that we ask ourselves, the less we travel those, the weaker those neural connections in the brain actually become. So we can intentionally train our brain onto these new empowering pathways, onto these new empowering thought patterns, these new empowering questions, and leave the negative ones to become overgrown, to become weaker, to become, yeah, obsolete because they weren't serving us, right? And I remember I was sharing, this was a little while ago, but I was sharing something about this on Instagram one time. And I had somebody come in all hot and heavy in the comments. And she's like, well, I have to talk, like I have to talk bad to myself. Otherwise I won't do anything. I have to like create that negativity within myself or else I won't move. And it's kind of, I had to sit with myself for a minute and just like have empathy for this woman who came in and saying the only way that she was like making herself move or making herself do things was because she was kicking her own ass, basically. And I just sat there with so much compassion for this woman because I understand what it's like to move, to create, to try and force things to happen through kicking my own ass and making it myself do the thing rather than inspiring myself to do the thing. Like it just doesn't feel good for me. And to each their own. I shared with her, I was like, if that's really what you enjoy, if that's really feels empowering to you, more power to you. And in that, that's not the way I choose to live. That's not the way I want to create. That's not the way I want to explore and adventure through this life. I want to have my own back. I want to trust myself. I want to know myself. I want to appreciate the work, the effort, the creation, the magic that I've created, that I'm creating, that I am excited to create in this world. I want to enjoy this magic. I want to enjoy this creation process. I want to enjoy this life. And for me, that comes back to being my own, like, having a good relationship with myself, being my own best friend, allowing myself to really be there for myself, to tune and tap and turn on the magic that is already within inside of me, because I know that's where my most impactful creating comes from. I know that's where I have the most fucking fun. I know that's where I shine the brightest. That's where I can create the most impact in the world, not just in myself, but in my community, in my other relationships that I have with other people outside of myself, in the work that I do with my clients, in the work that I create. And at the end of the day, the beautiful thing about life is we all have a choice. We have a choice to choose to motivate ourselves with, I suppose it would be like the carrot or the stick, right? We can motivate ourselves with the stick by kicking our own ass, berating, belittling ourselves, asking ourselves shitty ass questions, and trying to just push forward. Or we can motivate ourselves with the carrot, with love and compassion, with empowerment within ourselves, with appreciation for ourselves, with excitement for this beautiful life, with excitement for this beautiful sunshine that we have today, for example. We can motivate ourselves with the stick or the carrot. And it's just a choice. We get to choose. We get to intentionally choose this. For me personally, I choose the carrot. I enjoy carrots. I enjoy tapping into my own magic. I enjoy feeling powerful within myself. I enjoy supporting myself. It feels fucking good to have my own back, to have a solid, healthy, loving relationship within myself. I'm so fucking grateful for the work that I've done to create this relationship with myself, in myself, because this world is so abundant with contrast. Just like I was saying before with the night and the day, right? Like contrast exists everywhere. And it almost feels like it's becoming more contrasting every fucking day with this wild world we are living in currently. So at the end of the day, with the world being what it is, full of so much extreme contrast, how do you want to show up for yourself? There's plenty of contrast in the world to have that stick motivation, perhaps, if you feel like you really need it. But like, do you really need to do that to yourself? I mean, that's just a genuine question. There's no right or wrong there, but it is a choice for us. It's how we want to experience this life within ourselves. It's how we want to show up for ourselves. It's how we want to motivate ourselves. It's how we want to create within the world. It's how we want to experience this life in our body, in our being, in our mind, in our energy. So choose intentionally today. Are you going to allow yourself to motivate yourself with the stick? Or are you going to allow yourself to motivate yourself with the carrot? Allowing yourself to show yourself compassion, allowing yourself to show yourself love, allowing yourself to accept where you're at and meet yourself where you're at today, taking aligned action to grow you in the direction that you want to go, allowing yourself to appreciate yourself exactly where you're at, that you've overcome so much in your body, in your being, in your life, in your relationships, in your businesses. You have the choice. The choice is yours every single day. Whether you choose whatever you choose, the choice is yours. You get to intentionally choose in this life to motivate yourself in that hard, harsh, perhaps way, or whether you choose to tap into your magic and motivate yourself from a place that feels true to you. And I am so grateful for all of the coaches, all of the mentors that I've worked with that have helped empower me to motivate myself from this place of love within myself, to motivate myself from this place of self acceptance within myself, not slacking off and just skipping things, but allowing myself to really motivate myself from this place of intention, from this place of alignment, from this place of my own magic. And that's why I'm so excited. I've got a couple of spots in Elevate You, which is a one-on-one 3-month transformational coaching program where we dive deep into the subconscious mind so that you can powerfully rewire your subconscious mind, create the new neural pathways, the empowering neural pathways, the loving neural pathways, the carrot motivation neural pathways within yourself using rapid transformational therapy or regression hypnosis alongside of weekly coaching sessions so that you can truly embody the transformation within yourself, within your being, so that you can actually create what you truly desire within your life and feel good about doing it. Feel tuned and tapped and turned onto your magic, your light, your true essence so that you can feel empowered in yourself, mind, body, and energy so that you can create from this place of the carrot motivation, so that you can create and explore and adventure through this life from a place of, I've got myself. I've got this beautiful, loving relationship within myself. And that allows you to experience the contrast and flow with the ebbs and flows of the wild world we live in with more ease, with more grace, with more grounded peace within yourself. If you want more information, you can click the link below to apply. Or if you have any questions, feel free to shoot me a DM or email hello@kelseyholmes.com. Thank you again so much for being here. Allow yourself to give yourself the grace and the love to create from a place of appreciation for yourself, for from a place of appreciation for what you're creating, what you've created, what you've grown through, what you've experienced, how strong and powerful and beautiful you already are, knowing that the magic is always within inside of you. You get to blow on the ember of magic, allow it to grow into a vibrant, beautiful fire within. Thank you so much for being here, and in love, light, and so much gratitude. Enjoy creating your own magic within yourself. Peace.